bringing it to you always. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Orange and black, we rebuild the pack. No matter where we at, you know we coming back. Section 336, we on this, so tune in. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Yeah, welcome to Birdland. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Now, here come the boys from Section 336.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Baltimore sports fans of all ages, welcome to Section 336, Next Generation of Baltimore Sports Talk. I am your endearing second host, Matt Soroka. As always, I'm joined by the button lover, Josh Soroka.
Hey, Matt, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Your kids are back in school?
Kid, today was the first day of school.
Oh, nice.
Down here.
We're already week 2.
Right, you guys started last week. We started today.
Because we care more about the education of our students.
Whatever you need to say. Okay, our kids start today, and on Friday, I drive Emma down to UCF.
Oh, nice.
So.
That's fun. Yeah, we're in a weird situation now. We got 3 kids in 3 different schools, so not ideal.
Yep, been there many times.
Yeah, but Silas started taking the bus, so that's been good.
Oh, the bus stop moved for us. We used to have to drive. We used to drive the kids like up to the middle of the neighborhood, and they added a new bus stop right on our street, like right down this road, like 6 houses down. It's perfect. Don't have to do anything. Just kick the kids out of the house.
Love that. Yeah, I want to make a point about bus stops and kids later, though, because it goes to a larger argument I want to make about Brandon Hyde. So we'll save that argument for got Brandon Hyde and bus stops later in the show.
Now, would this be referencing more of the Norfolk shuttle, or do you think the bus stop in between the bullpen and the pitching mound?
Let's just say Brandon Hyde had some issues. He's had some issues this week.
I think, I guess it's also been that this past week where he had some trouble with yanking guys out, because on paper, it still doesn't make any sense. But on paper, he can justify it.
Yeah, I feel like this week, more than any other week I can recall, was like Brandon Hyde on the hot seat week. It's like he was getting kind of crushed this week.
There's always been Brandon Hyde haters.
There's Michael Goliath haters. You find haters. Right. There's people who hate our podcast, Josh. You'll hate anything.
No, really?
I'm serious. Yeah.
Yeah, lots of people hate this podcast.
Yeah.
But that's okay. There's lots of people that love it too. And
just like Brandon Hyde.
Right. And we started this not expecting anyone to like it. So the fact that a few like it, we're happy.
Yeah. I even like it when the haters listen. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, me too. It all works. This was the first week where I hated Brandon, where I understood the hatred towards Brandon Hyde. And I believe last week I even told you, hey, I'm starting to think Brandon Hyde was not made to be in this moment.
Right. And I heard you say that last week, and I thought, I didn't say at the time, I thought it was a stupid thing to say. Yeah, I thought it was a stupid thing to say.
I know. How do you feel after this week?
After last year, and kind of, I mean, we still don't have the best record in baseball. A couple days ago, we had the best record in baseball.
Yesterday we did.
Oh, it was yesterday
before the game. Yeah,
before the game. And then we're talking about firing the guy or something. I thought that's great, but then watching this week, and the bullpen stuff is annoying, but I also. Like, I was thinking about this, like, just the injuries.
Oh, you know what? We still have the best record in baseball.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we are tied with the Yankees for the best record in baseball at the moment.
Yeah, I know we're myopically focused on the Orioles, and the Orioles are in a weird place right now because it seems like, we split a series, we lose 2 out of 3, we win 2 out of 3. We're kind of muddling in the middle at like 500.
Yeah, but we're muddling in the middle with the best record in baseball.
Yeah, and that's my point.
And we complain like, oh, this team's never going to do anything. We still have the best record in baseball.
Yeah, like you would think that this team is trash.
Yeah,
based on the comments.
The comments online and the frustrations that we have texting each other, you would think that this team was expected for greatness, and we are in last place.
Yeah, no, I agree. Though, in our defense and in Oriole fans' defense, there has been some legit struggles with this team.
Yes, and there's been very frustrating moments lately where it's it's been a long season.
Yeah.
And the players are feeling it, and we as fans are feeling it too.
Yeah. But if you zoom out, and I don't know, I think this is not just a weird this year quirky thing. I think this is a thing about baseball now, where just there's such balance in the league that if you look at the record since the All-Star break or since June or whatever, the Dodgers have struggled, the Yankees have struggled, the Phillies have struggled. Like all the best teams have struggled. I mean, don't get me started here in Braves country. They're losing their minds here in Braves country. I got my Phillies friend text me all the time about how much his team stinks. So like every team,
the second place Braves.
Yeah. You would think they have the worst record in baseball. The way they're talking about the Braves on here, and they might like miss on the playoffs if the Mets can catch them. But you get just so focused on your team. There's something bigger happening in the league where all the teams are kind of struggling.
Josh, and we saw it at the trade deadline with the fact that there's so many teams in the mix.
Right. So few sellers and buyers. Sellers market, as the kids say.
Yep.
How much though of these struggles? I was thinking about this, Josh. We would be I think we would be by far. I want to say like the best team in baseball, but we already are figure 5. But I think we would be dominant, chasing 110 wins, crushing everybody. If we had, Bautista.
And
the backup, just how much these losses come down to just not having.
If we had Bautista,
the adequate arms.
If we had Westberg, if we had, just go through the injuries. Aiken.
Well, here are. Let's recap the injuries.
Okay, let's recap them and when they'll return.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see the pictures of Bautista this week and video?
Him pitching
off a mound down in Sarasota.
Yeah, and then did you hear Mike Elias
then Mike
about
quickly said not till spring training.
Yeah.
But it got me excited just seeing the big man on the mound.
Yeah, it got me excited too. So I probably missed someone, but kind of going from recency.
All right, let's go.
Grayson Rodriguez.
Okay. All right. Now, we don't know how bad that is yet.
Yes. Mike Elias seemed to be optimistic in his comments.
But we've heard that before.
Yes.
All right, tell me if I'm an idiot. Why is that when I saw Mike Elias's comments, did I immediately think of Mike Elias telling us Bautista would be able to pitch last season?
Yeah, well, this is a completely different injury.
I know.
This is the same thing
but it's the same
from last year with but it's the same injury too that Grayson Rodriguez had last year.
Okay.
That held him back. Now, I agree because this is one of those things that, the injury is a right lat teres strain.
Right.
And anytime you're talking about I don't know, we're no medical experts here, as we have established.
No, but once you say lat, okay, no one really a lat strain. No one knows what that means unless you can see the X-rays yourself.
Right. Well, and the strain thing too, like straining any part of your body, any muscles, it's it's impossible to tell the exact recovery time, right? And you might think you're okay, and then you push a little bit and you aggravate the strain. And so, and by the way, it's mid-August, and the playoffs start in a month and a half.
Yes, countdown's here.
So I'm with you, Josh. I'm skeptical. It makes the Zach Eflin trade 10 times more important, right?
Sure.
But I'm skeptical.
So they shut him down now for the 15-day IL, but they said no throwing for 10 days.
Yeah. And they said they're hopeful that they can get back into the game. Here's a quote. And we're also, this is Mike Elias talking, we're also hopeful that we'll be able to get him back up and running before the end of the regular season and position him and us for the playoff baseball.
Yeah, so, I hope so too. Yeah. I really hope so.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into the playoffs limping like a wounded soldier.
Yeah. So the other recent injury happened same time, which again, I think maybe we're so kind of depressed about the Grayson Rodriguez. This injury might be just as impactful, and that's the injury to Jacob Webb. And this is an elbow issue that the quote was the elbow was barking. I don't know what that means.
Right. That means
I don't think it was actually making dog noise. I think it was just sore.
Yeah, that means sore.
Yeah. So again, it's an elbow that you throw with. But they're hoping he just needs a little rest and then he'll be back after the 15 days.
I hope so. All right, what's next on your list?
Goodness knows our bullpen could use Okay, going with recently, and I know this might have got lost in the shuffle too, because after he was sent down, and we talked about last week, Heston Kjerstad getting sent down, but immediately after getting sent down, he was put on the injured list.
Right. Do you think one had to do with the other? He didn't go down and get hurt. Do you think why was he not just sent to the IL? Why'd they send him down?
I don't know. I read somewhere. Now I'm blanking where I read it that he said something at Norfolk. So like my assumption was when he's with the Orioles, he didn't say anything
because he's not going to give up that opportunity.
Right, and then we got to Norfolk. He's like, actually, you know,
all right. Well,
dealing
Heston,
with some concussion.
I get it, Heston.
I mean, headache, whatever, dizziness, whatever it was.
Heston, I get it, but you should have. When Mike Elias or Brendan Hyde came to you and said, "Hey, sorry, we're going to send you down," you should say, "You know, I've been having these headaches from the concussion. Maybe you want to just put me on the IL instead."
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't have gotten sent down. The Orioles could have just moved along.
You still get your per diem as a major leaguer or whatever
Correct.
it is, I assume.
I'm sure. I would assume you make more money if you're on the major league IL than the minor league IL.
I think so. I think that's how that works. You still, yeah. So yeah, I agree with you.
You could still travel with the team if you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you never see that, right? Someone gets sent to AAA, and there's no benefit for the Orioles to send to AAA.
No, Heston,
really.
You look like a shy, quiet guy. You needed to speak up in this moment. Yeah. It was your opportunity.
Yeah, and again, Mike Elias said when he was asked about it, it's very mild. So I'm sure it was like he's just like maybe had headaches or something.
Or he's like, I've proven myself in Norfolk. I don't need to play here. Just put me on the DIL.
Yeah. Yeah. He could have been the concussion-like symptoms could have been the result of just being so freaking angry at being sent back down.
He has a headache.
He was seeing red. He was seeing red, not because of concussion, because he was so mad at being sent down.
Right. The Norfolk shuttle has given him a headache.
Yeah, it would give. Yeah, and it should, because he shouldn't.
It gives me a headache.
Yeah, I'm with you, Heston. We all have a headache with you. Then, and you mentioned it, the Jordan Westberg injury. Yes. Josh, does that injury feel worse since we have realized Kobe Mayo stinks at baseball? Does that make that injury feel a little bit worse?
A little bit. I mean, yes. I'm glad it gave Mayo a chance to be up here. But I wanted Mayo up here on the bench in the DH role, hitting the ball. I miss Westberg, the third baseman. That's what I want to see. I do not like Urias over in third base. I think there's something going on with Gunnar and Urias where they just do not communicate on the field well together. And I think that's where we feel a little impact. I understand Mayo's struggles. We saw Holiday struggle. We saw Kjerstad struggle. Gunnar and Adley even struggled when they first came up. So I understand the Mayo struggle. I think if Westberg was here, we would send Mayo down for a little bit, like we did Holiday, and bring him back in September.
Yeah, I think Mayo's being here is directly related to us needing a third baseman.
Yes.
With Westberg not being here.
But it's a tough time for Mayo to struggle when all the other guys are kind of tired from the season and struggling as well.
Yeah. I mean, but the Kobe Mayo struggles is right in line with the Kjerstad struggles, the Holiday struggles. It's not surprising.
But the Kjerstad struggles, the Holiday struggles were at the beginning of the season. And I know a game is a game, a win is a win, but they seem to sting more in August.
Yeah. How long of a leash should Mayo have? Do you want to see him just on the bench? You want to see him trying to hit his way out of this? Do you want to see him down in Norfolk?
We've got the Nats this week. I'd place him out there against the Nats.
Yeah.
Because the Nats are trash.
Yeah, but then it gets tough.
Then it gets tough, and Urias seems to thrive after a few days on the bench. So I think a platoon situation for Mayo is okay as we play Boston, because Boston's, I think they're third place, but they're coming up fast. They're having a great summer.
Ball. Yeah.
So I think I would maybe if Mayo's not hitting the ball against the Nats, I would probably give him a little break against the Red Sox.
Yeah. I've seen enough. I'm done.
Whatever. You're not completely done. You're just.
I'm done for this year. I am. I'm done for this year. I send him back to Norfolk. Let him finish the season there.
How? How do you send him to Norfolk when Westberg's hurt? Who do you put in his place?
I don't care. Bring that Soto guy up.
I've got it. Here's what you do.
Vavra, Soto, whoever you want.
All right. So you're going to let Urias just play third. Don't bring up Vavra
Why not?
or
Who
Soto.
cares?
Here's what I would do. I would.
Josh, you think
I would.
they can't do better than 0 for 10 with 6 strikeouts or whatever it is?
I would
Kobe?
I would give Mayo these next 2 games against the Nats. I would check in on Kerstead, and at some point I would rather have Kerstead on my bench and Urias in the field. And that's what I would look at.
No, because my argument for Soto, really,
Yeah.
I don't know much about Livian Soto. I don't know much about the kid, but I feel like can play multiple infield positions. I think he's pretty good defensively. I don't know this for a fact. I'm just guessing. But Kobe Mayo is only a third baseman, and what does Kobe Mayo bring you if he's not hitting the ball? Nothing. At least Soto could play multiple positions. You can bring that in. If you want to bring a guy like Vavra, bring some experience with them. I would take, give me something than nothing. I mean, I like Ramon Urias with you. I'm with you, Josh, as a bench player, as a platoon player, whatever you want to call it. I don't like him as an everyday player, but it is what it is. At this point, our team is what it is. And right now, I think Ramon Urias provides more offensively and defensively, even though he's not having a great defensive season either, than Kobe Mayo does. So if I feel like Kobe Mayo is not good enough to start right now over Ramon Urias, I feel like Kobe Mayo doesn't bring much to this team right now. So put Soto on my bench instead of Mayo.
What Mayo has done is he's gotten a few walks, and he's able to steal bases. I believe. No, never mind. He doesn't have any stolen bases.
Who? Mayo?
Mayo.
No, he's not fast.
No. But he's gotten a few walks. So he has gotten on base.
Yes, he's gotten some walks.
He also has 10 strikeouts in the last 7 games.
Yeah, that's not good.
15 at-bats, 2 walks, and 10 strikeouts. So 15 at-bats, that means 3 times he's made contact with the ball.
Yeah, listen, and I'm not saying Kobe Mayo is a bust or anything. I'm just saying it's the middle of August.
Yeah,
we're in a pennant race.
It's not time to have an overwhelmed kid on your team.
Yeah. I'm not here to experiment and see if we can kind of figure this out. Give me guys who I know in the past have produced, and so give me Ramon Urias every day, and I think that's what Brendan Hyde has done recently too. Like Kobe Mayo is not playing as much as of late,
right?
And I agree with Hyde. Like this is not a development project. I'm here to win some freaking games. It's mid-August. We're in a pennant race.
No,
so give me the guys who can win now.
Yes, I agree.
All right. And so all that to say, Jordan Westburg, we hope he can return. I mean, it's a bone. He's got a broken bone, right?
We need him for
right hand.
We need him for a playoff push.
Yeah. And so, I mean, yeah, I agree. So
I cannot
wait. We hope he can return in September. That's the hope.
Have we even gotten did we get one game of Westburg, Gunnar, Holiday, Mountcastle as our infield since Holiday came up? I guess we must have gotten a few.
Yeah.
Because I love that infield.
It was around the same time, though. When was Westburg hurt and Holiday caught up? It was around the same time. I think was Westburg initially caught up was Holiday initially caught up for Westburg?
No, I think Mayo was caught up.
No, because
Soto was originally given that spot.
I thought Vavra, maybe Vavra and then Soto.
Oh yeah, Vavra was for a day, but didn't get in the field. Let's see, July 31st is when Jordan Westburg fractured his hand.
Yes.
So
he went the next day, went on the injured list. Yeah. Was you August 1st?
Right. So the Holiday's been up longer than that, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I thought it was around that same time.
I'd have to look it up. It's hard to find because of the time that he was sent down.
Yeah. I guess Holiday was up before then. Oh, here it is. Jackson Holiday was recalled from Norfolk on July 31st.
Okay. So we did not get, and Westbrook got hit in that first inning, if I recall correctly. Wasn't it early?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I believe it was very early in that game. So I don't think we've gotten to see the Westbrook, Holiday, Gunnar, Mountcastle infield because that probably was a Ryan O'Hearn game as well.
Yeah, I was looking at this. The roster transactions from July 30th, July 31st, and August 1st. There is so much happening with Orioles roster. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, it's been, yeah. It was like 4 days where every day we were moving like 5 people around because of the trade deadline and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, like just on August, like this all happened August 1st. We forget this all happened August 1st. Kershaw was optioned. Aiken was optioned. Eloy Jimenez, who's been great, was activated. They signed Vance Honeycutt, their first round pick. They also signed Nate George. Vinny Natoli was let go, elected free agency from the minors. They activated Austin Slater. Christian Pache, who we got a couple of days ago before that, was then DFA'd. Jordan Westberg was put in the injured list. Then they activated Soto. They also activated Trevor Rogers. Just kind of total madness.
Right. So that July 31st game was the game where we got excited because it showed off the young guys. Because we had Cowser in left field, Santander in right field, Henderson at short, O'Hearn was the DH, Mountcastle at first base, Mullins in center field, Westberg at third base, Holiday at second base, and McCann was catching. And
so Westberg and Holiday had one game.
So Westbrook Holiday had one game together with Holiday playing well. And even in that, we didn't have Adley behind the plate. So we haven't had our full young infield on. And I think, don't we average like 25 years old for our infield when we have all of our guys in there?
That sounds about right. Sounds about right.
And I think Mountcastle's the old guy then.
Yeah. Yeah. He's the veteran.
Right? He's the veteran on that team.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Yeah, I mean we're so caught up in the moment, but the conversation we had before, like this team is still set up for success long term.
Correct.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, pretty exciting.
But we don't
even with all these injuries, it's been kind of amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. We've had I always say, well, it seems like we have more injuries than everyone else. And I get that it's because I don't pay attention to the other teams.
Right.
But
I think
we've got a lot of injuries this year.
Yeah, so those are our 15-day list.
Yes.
People on the 60-day injured list.
Okay.
We talked about Felix Bautista.
Yeah, well, he's out for the year.
Yeah, but I'm with you, Josh. Felix, stop posting pictures and videos of you pitching from the mound on your Instagram, dude.
Please. I can't. It's not healthy for me to see that.
Such a tease. Yep. And then, of course, Jorge Mateo, who, that's another guy, Josh.
And we don't even know what's the latest with that, right?
Yeah.
Has there been an update?
I think the plan is still. The plan is that every player comes back at the end of September.
Well, there's your other reason, and that's your other reason why Kobe Mayo's on this team.
Yeah, what would the infield look like, Josh, if Jorge Mateo is still here?
Mateo.
You thought it was easy at first. Like, who's playing third?
Holiday?
I don't think so. They did all that stuff.
No. You know what you would have to do? You know what you do?
You put Gunnar at third?
I think you put Gunnar at third because Holiday played short in Norfolk. So you put that Holiday play short, you put Gunnar at third, and you put Mateo at second. Gunner's got the arm.
No, you would put Mateo at short, Holiday at second, Gunnar at third.
Yeah, I guess so. Either one of those could. I'd be comfortable with Holiday at short also.
On paper, I think that's your best move, Mateo at short. But then in reality, I don't know if that's a slight to Gunnar to move him to third. Even though that's probably what the team needs at this point.
I think.
But anyway,
you've got the arm, you can do it. But either way, it doesn't matter yet because Mateo's not here.
Yeah.
Again,
but I think it's a big deal if he comes back in September because again, I think it can be such a huge weapon.
It's a
big the bench.
On the bench. That speed coming off the bench, it's what he's there for. You get into an extra inning game, you throw him on that starting at second base, you're getting a run in.
Yeah. And the good news is, it's an elbow dislocated. That's not good. But in terms of if he can get his elbow back to being decent, I don't think you need him to even play shortstop.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
There to pinch run. I don't want to run around with a cast on.
As long as he's out of the sling.
Yeah.
Like we see
And he can't make it worse.
McCann's still playing with that mask when he bats to protect his broken nose. Can we do something with Mateo for the postseason where, hey, we don't need you to do anything but run.
A pinch run.
Pinch run. And learn to slide with your other arm.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the problem is can you dive on that arm?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, you got to slide in a second.
Yeah.
Sure, good point.
And home.
Yeah. And it's not his, I believe it wasn't his throwing arm either. It was his glove hand.
Yeah, but again, I don't care. I don't need you in the field. I need you on the bases.
Yeah. The other injury, again, everyone, Josh, we're going to have an addition of like 10 guys late September.
And if you can't swing the bat and I have to put you in the lineup, you are going to hug that plate, crowd that plate, get that elbow out there.
You're gonna dip down real low, like
you're going to Aaron Judge this
small
thing.
strike zone. The other guy expecting late September return is Danny Coulomb. I think this is Josh. I think our bullpen.
I forgot about Coulomb.
Yeah,
Coulomb back and fresh would be nice.
Yeah, he would add much needed stability, but it's really, I think, important that he gets back in September. He had the left elbow inflammation.
Yeah, we need him to work it out a little bit in some games that aren't life or death.
I don't want his second appearance to be like game 2 of the playoffs. Yeah, I don't want that.
No. Same with Webb, ideally as well.
Yeah, but I think he slots in as potentially our best bullpen arm when he gets back.
Yeah, I think him and Webb make a big difference when they're back.
Yeah, I mean, Hyde loves both those guys.
Yes.
In middle inning, high leverage, like 7th inning, high leverage situations.
And that's what I want them. I want them when it's the best batters up.
Yeah. I mean, we're still screwed in the 8th and 9th. But at this point, there's nothing we can do about that. No. I'm not even complaining anymore. I'm not going to even say a bad word about Kimbrel. He's our closer. We're kind of screwed for it.
Nope.
But it is what it is at this point. We're not changing.
I want Coulomb to go out there, get out of the inning. Then on the guys coming back, I want Hyde up on the top of those steps, yelling at the guys. Guys, we're going into the 8th inning. You know we need 3 more runs.
We need 4 runs.
You got to score the runs.
We need
score the runs. Offense, I need you. Offense, let's go.
Yeah.
Because Kimbrel's going to blow something.
Right. A 1 run. If we're up by 1
at Camden.
If we're up by 1, we're really down by 3. That should be there.
That's the Kimbrel effect.
Yeah, it's the Kimbrel effect. But it is what it is. I'm not even you won't see me say a bad thing on X about him because he's my guy. And
and we have no other option.
At this point in the game, there's nothing else to be done. So we're rolling with it. And then to wrap up our injury talk, because I'm not done yet.
I was going to say, there's a nice long list that you haven't gotten to yet.
These are guys who aren't returning this year.
Okay.
3 starters. Kyle Bradish.
Imagine if we had Bradish right now.
Oh, my gosh, Josh. Because it's not even just that you had one of the best pitchers in baseball in Kyle Bradish, and that's what he was. But it's also that, and I know Suarez has been great, and he pitched a great game.
But imagine having Suarez in your pen.
Exactly, right? He would be doing really well in the pen, maybe avoiding some of these other pen issues. He could be a back to the pen arm, and now he's forced to start because we just need him there. Yeah. The other guy who I think could have been a great addition to our bullpen, Tyler Wells with right elbow inflammation.
Yeah. I think when we're talking right now about not trusting Kimbrel, I've always thought Wells had the stuff to be a closer.
Yeah, I agree. He would slot in as, I think
he's that 8th inning guy. I think with Kimbrel's struggles, you really could have some fun with Wells and Cano in that 8 and 9 role.
Yeah, I think it's very possible that Wells could have gotten shot to close.
Yeah.
If he didn't have this UCL repair.
Yeah, it's a pointless conversation, but yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, and so he's out. Hopefully, comes back sometime 2025.
Right.
Kyle Bradish is like July 2025.
Right. Him and Bradish, I think, are both mid 2025. Not even spring training.
Right. Yeah. Mid.
Batista, I think, is the only spring training.
Yeah. Yep. And then John Means.
Is he again to us?
Late September. Could be back late September 2025, though.
I was going to say, what are you talking about?
Not this year, late September next year.
And when's his contract up?
This year.
So he's not an Oriole anymore.
Unless, I don't know how it works because
I'm sure we still
him. He only pitches, best case scenario, he pitches in September next year.
Right, but I don't think I think he just stays on our in medical insurance or whatever it is. I think we still have to pay for his injury or whatever. But the contract
runs out?
I assume so.
That's what I don't know.
I don't know. But
like,
there's
would he
no
want to
reason.
do some stupid deal with the Orioles, like 1 year, $1 million or whatever, just so he can rehab with the Orioles and then maybe be there in September?
Yeah, I mean, latest injury update says John Means will not return to the mound until potentially early 2026.
Okay, so maybe it's all next year.
Yeah. So I don't know how it works.
But how does that work for him and his rehab and stuff if he's not with the team?
I think this is something that the union does. I think the union will take care of this. I'm sure that we've had people happen. I mean, what happens if you have a career-ending injury? I mean, something's.
Do you think the Orioles should try to sign it for like 2 years and say, listen, we'll do all the rehab stuff with you and you'll be there for us in 2026 if you can do it?
How much money do you put into an older John Means that has had Tommy Johns twice?
I don't think that much. How much would any team put into him, though?
Exactly. John Means is 31 years old.
Yeah. I mean, you think his career's done?
I don't know. Does it benefit the Orioles to have him in 2026?
You think we're going to have a ton of starting pitchers in 2026 somehow?
Well, I hope we still have Bradish.
Yeah.
And I hope that in about a month we announce that we have signed Bort Burns for a 5-year deal.
Yeah. I mean,
or at least
every
2.
time Means has pitched, he's pitched well.
That's true.
And he's not like a guy who relies on 98 miles per hour. Like his changeup's his best pitch. I assume that will still be there.
All right.
So
here's my deal.
I'm giving a 2-year deal to John Means.
I'm giving John Means a 2-year deal. And here's why I'm giving John Means a 2-year deal. Do you know how much he made this year?
This is last year's arbitration, so I would guess, I don't know, $7 million?
$3.3 million.
Oh, is that it?
That's it. So
I guess because the injuries and stuff? Huh.
I don't know, but yeah. Probably because with arbitration years, it's based on your performance, and he's been hurt, so he hasn't been able to perform.
Right.
So I could totally see
signing
him for 2 years for $7 million.
I mean, I'm not going to cry for John Means making more in a year than I'll ever make in my life. But still, in terms of like quality pitchers, this is his biggest contract year, and it's $3.3 million. That's kind of sad for him. And now he's not going to get paid. It's the injury is sad the more you think about it, because I mean, how much money, millions of dollars, did this injury cost him?
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you hope he can come back.
Yeah. So I would say, I'd be perfectly fine with giving him a 2-year deal.
All right, and that's the end of Injury Corner. That's it.
That's it? You sure you didn't miss anyone else?
John Means, Tyler Wells, Kyle Bradish, Danny Coulomb, Jorge Mateo, Felix Bautista, Jordan Westberg, Heston Kjerstad, Jacob Webb, Grace Rodriguez. Josh, that sounds like a playoff team to me.
It really does. It really is.
Their injury list. That's wild.
Yeah, those guys would all be big impact now.
So this feels like the Ravens two years ago. And so it's all like, well, is it John Harbaugh's fault? Is the injury's fault? Josh, we got to the Brandon Hyde stuff. We can touch on it again real quick. How much of the Brandon Hyde criticism is, I mean, I think Brandon Hyde would be a better manager if Felix Bautista was in his bullpen, if Danny Coulomb was in the bullpen, if Tyler Wells, like he would be a better manager if he had these guys. So how much of this is, it's on the players and on Mike Elias are not getting the right players and on injuries, which no one can control? How much of the responsibility is there compared to being straight on Brandon Hyde?
All right, here's my problem with Brandon Hyde. And I'm not going to complain about Brandon Hyde.
And I'll tell you
anymore.
my problem with Brandon Hyde and bus stops. So, but you can go first.
Yeah. I cannot look at a game this season and say Brandon Hyde helped win that game. Brandon Hyde made the right move to win that game.
Really? Josh, he has done, and we'll get to the bases loaded where he pinched it for Holiday and Kowser. We'll get to that. But there's been times when he used where the pinch hitters have come through.
Okay.
I think he's been pretty good with the pinch hitters throughout the season.
I hear that. I will say that pinch hitting for Holiday and Kowser with the bases loaded is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I don't care about left-right splits. And then to let Urias hit when his number, because he's left-handed, even though his batting average against left-handed pitching is like 130 or something. Like he wants to say, "Oh, blame the analytics." The analytics show you need a lefty up, but Urias' stats show he doesn't hit well against lefties.
Well, yeah, the analytics stuff doesn't.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense, and it's not just that you pinch hit for Holiday and Cowser and let Ramon Urias
Two
hit,
hot bats,
which that just on the face of it is insane. What makes it even more insane, Josh, is who was pinch hit for them.
Yes.
So in the case of Holiday, it was Austin Slater, a guy we got a week before for cash considerations.
Who again,
right? A platoon defensive replacement bench player.
And his splits didn't make sense against lefties. He was like in the ones again.
Right. And so that was, and Holiday was kind of hot. He continues to be hot. And then you let Ramon Urias hit. And then Cowser, who was in the midst, I think, of that point of a 14-game hitting streak.
15 game hitting streak. He would have set like some Oriole record or something if he got one more.
Yeah. But instead of that, a rookie record probably, right?
Yeah, probably.
But instead of that, they pinch hit Kobe Mayo, who's
never got a hit.
Not get a hit.
Right.
With the bases loaded in a key situation.
Right. Who still doesn't have a career hit.
Right.
And here's the deal. I could accept either one of those going to the plate for Ramon Urias because I've seen his numbers.
Yeah, I agree. Like,
and he was the third batter in that
inside
lineup.
Information or feel about Kobe Mayo. Like, all right, do it, dude. But pinch it for Ramon Urias.
But what I trust with Holiday and what I trust with Cowser is that they won't strike out in that situation. I trust that they're going to hit a fly ball, which scores at least one run for me.
I wouldn't even trust that that Jackson Holiday, like he might strike out. But I also think
Holiday is either strikeout or home run.
Yeah, I think there's like
and
a 5% chance he hits a freaking grand slam. And so I'm rolling the dice with a 5% chance of a grand slam.
And the way Holiday's been hitting the ball that week, I'd go higher than 5%.
Yeah. Now, I also know there's a chance that Holiday strikes out because the umpire calls a ball a strike
over his head.
Outside.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like I know that's a risk too. But yeah, I agree. Like that is one of those jaw-dropping moments. And so it brought me, and that's the only time where I said, oh my gosh, this guy's just an idiot. And like, it's also like, sometimes I think you overthink things. Like, just let the freaking best players play. That's my whole argument. Like, let the best in key situations, forget left, right. Who's a better baseball player? I want that guy. I'll take a better baseball player over a left, right guy any day of the week.
Well, and all right. So I play, when you play the show, when you go to a pinch hitter, there's different metrics where it shows you. It shows you their power, their content.
Versus left and versus right.
The only thing I look at in that when I play that game and I look for a pinch hitter is I look at clutch and what the clutch rating is.
I never look at clutch. I look
at clutch. For pinch hitter, I look at clutch.
Okay.
Because I want a guy who's clutch up at that plate. And I'm sorry, but Kobe Mayo and Slater are not clutch. Holiday and Cowser are the guys I can count on in big moments.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. If we could just, see, now I'm getting mad all over again, Josh.
Oh, it's so irritating.
It's not like you're replacing them with guys who throughout the season have come through in key situations. Like even like a Rognet Odor, how much we hated him. But sometimes, he's a veteran and he's done it before and he's got a little bit of that clutch factor. These are guys who just made it to the Orioles roster. They just showed up in Slater and Mayo. And they're being replacing guys who've done it longer. It's insane on so many levels.
If Mike Elias came out that night and said, "Brandon Hyde, you're fired," I would understand. I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, I mean that's one. If I'm Rubenstein and I'm a reactionary owner, like I'm calling people.
Right.
Like I need to talk to Hyde. Like I need to talk to Hyde about what just went down.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't say analytics. You have to tell me that Holiday was throwing up in the locker room or something.
Right,
you got to give him something better than analytics.
Yeah. In fact, I might not even call Hyde. I might call Holiday and Cowser and say, "You guys said you needed out of those games. Why did you need out of the game?"
Yeah.
Because I saw the game, and I would be ready to fire Hyde. And I get that's that immediate reaction. That's what you don't. That's not the type of thing owners do. That's not the type of thing. Oh, games happen, things happen.
Yeah.
But imagine the impact if you fired the guy on that stupid decision.
Yeah. And you think about the message it sends to Cowser and Holiday.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are pretty good, but not good enough to hit against a lefty.
I would
and then
call-
Holiday just had a home run against a lefty the other day. So
Right. I call Cowser and Holiday and be like, what do you think of being pitch hit?
Yeah.
And if they're annoyed, if they were irritated, if they said they didn't want to be pinch hit, then I would say, all right, call Brandon Hyde. All right, you're demoted. You're now bench manager.
Yeah.
Freddie,
But-
you're now the manager.
Yeah, that's fine. And that's what we were doing. We would do it for overreactionary. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe something like that happened with Peter Angelos and David
Right.
Johnson or something.
Yeah, I know.
But-
this is right.
But-
I wonder.
Yeah.
This is kind of like Kevin Brown said something negative. He got suspended. Can we suspend our manager?
Yeah.
Send him.
Yeah, that's
send
what
him
I
down
don't
to-
even not a firing. Perhaps it's just a suspension.
Where's Chris Davis when you need him? Go in there,
to get in a fight with them.
get in a fight. 15-day IL for Brandon Hyde.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't think they should fire Brendan Hyde.
I don't
this point in
either.
the season.
I don't either. No.
That's not the right answer.
No, because I assume the club likes him. The players like him. I told you my theory last week that Brad Britton was supposed to be the manager by now.
Yeah, Buck Britton.
Buck Britton.
Buck's
was
such a
supposed
hard
to-
manager name to remember.
Yeah. Well, no, I get Bradish and Britton confused all the time. You know that.
Okay. Yeah.
And I really do believe that was the Orioles' game plan. But Hyde got manager of the year last year. And the Orioles performed early.
Well, he could get it again this year, Josh.
I know. He could get it again.
I think it's really interesting. Depending on, it's weird to talk about someone in the hot seat, but depending on what happens in the playoffs, and I don't know. I don't know how Elias views all this pinch hitting and bullpen usage.
Right.
I don't know how Elias views it. I think it's insane. I don't know how Elias views it.
Here's what I'd say. I think.
All right, say it, and then I gotta get to my bus stop metaphor.
All right. I think Buck Britton is seen as an up and coming manager. I think
You're
it's
really into Buck Britton. Okay.
No, I really think he was being groomed the Oriole way, just like the players were, working through the minors, that they were doing the same with Buck. I think there's a point where Buck says, all right, I don't want to do AAA anymore. I want to be a major league manager, and teams will interview him and give him opportunities. He has great relationships with these players and these Orioles. So I really feel like there's a point where if we get to the playoffs and don't get a single win, get knocked out like last year, that you say, Hyde, it's been great. Good luck. I'm sure the White Sox would love to have your work.
Yeah, that's
And
fine.
you let
Can
him
I
go.
Make one
Because
little argument against that.
Oh, I know you're going to argue against it, but I think what you end up doing is you don't want to lose Buck to another team, and you want to build on those relationships.
Okay, but wouldn't, Josh, if that was true, wouldn't Buck Britton be the
Bench coach?
bench coach at this point already?
No, because you still had young guys coming up. You still had Mayo. You still had Holiday. You still had Kerstead.
Well, they're all kind of done.
They are now.
Yeah.
But you still have Basalo. You've got pitchers coming up.
Okay, and after
So-
Basali, you're going to have Enrique
And
Bradley
again,
Jr. and someone else.
But you're making my argument. I think Buck Britton was supposed to be the manager this past season.
No,
but
I
Hyde
think if
got
they
manager
wanted
of the
that,
year.
they would bring him up as the bench coach.
I don't
And
know
then
what
make the
good a
transition.
bench coach does for you. For when because
I feel
how
like
many
that's the next
times-
guy in line, not the AAA guy.
The only time you ever see anything from our bench coach is when Hyde gets ejected. And Hyde never gets ejected from games at the proper point. He gets ejected from the game in the 9th inning with 2 outs over something stupid when he should have thrown a fit 4 innings earlier.
Right. Yeah. His not standing, again, for Holiday, when they're throwing ball 5 feet outside,
Exactly.
it's a little bit annoying.
And I'm not a Hyde hater. I know it's
Sounds like it,
across that
Josh.
way.
Sounds like you are.
I'm not a Hyde hater. So, how about the Hyde bus?
Okay. So my son this year started riding the bus.
Okay. Yes.
This is a little bit scary for me. Even like the idea of me riding the school bus, like, makes me nervous, gives me anxiety a little bit, because I've never ridden the bus to school before in my life. Only bus I took was to like sporting events. And all my images and visuals of buses from like TV shows where you got like the 200-pound bully in 9th grade who beats up all the other kids.
What do you think? It's the bus driver from The Simpsons?
Yeah, I've never seen The Simpsons. I'm not familiar, but I assume he's not a very good bus driver. But Amy's our bus driver, and she's nice. And so he's really enjoyed riding the bus. So we were stressed out I was stressed out about. I was like, Silas, I was trying to prepare him. Listen, I know this is new for you. And Silas was like, Dad, chill. And he just went on the bus.
There's nothing
And
to
he
worry
didn't
about. It's
care
a
at all.
bus.
Yeah. And then likewise, just so that was last week. This week, I said, I want you to walk to the bus stop yourself. And it's 2 streets. He's got to go down this street and up another street.
See, I didn't even have my kids do that.
Okay, it's a neighborhood, but it's up 2 streets. Because I want to get more independent, right?
All right. How far behind were you hiding?
No, I stayed in the house the whole time.
Oh, you didn't follow him slowly behind?
No, I had 2 other kids in the house. I couldn't leave.
Okay. All right. So this isn't about independence. This is about you.
Well, we could take the whole family and walk up there with him, but it was just easier if he could just go. And I wanted to be more independent. He's 7. I feel like he can walk up the street and then turn and go up the other street.
Do you have a tracker on him or something so you can make sure?
I have a tracker on the school bus that kind of says when the school bus arrives.
Yeah, but it doesn't say if he's on it or not.
It doesn't. I know. And that I texted Emily. I was like, today when he did it for the first time, I was like, is there a way to tell that he's on the bus? And there's no
that's
way.
why you get a tracker and you put it in your kid's backpack.
All right. Okay. I might have to look into that. But there's supposed to be something you scan on the bus, but they don't do it. I don't know why. But he has like an ID he's supposed to scan.
Okay.
But they don't do it for some.
And this is a school bus, not a city bus, right?
It's a school bus, yeah. And my point is, and again, I was stressed out about it. I was like, Silas, if you don't want to do this, I can walk with you. But he's just like, he left early. I was like, Silas, you don't have to leave yet today. He's like, I can go. And he threw in his backpack and just like a proud little man, so excited to walk to the school bus by himself. And then he's going through this like independent streak where he came home and he's like, Dad, I want to make dinner by myself today. And he made mac and cheese. And my point is, Josh, he was not ready to take on the bus, this kind of responsibility of walking the bus by himself. Even a few months ago, there's no way he would have done it. But you just kind of feel out, right? You just kind of feel, you kind of have to have a feel for the individual kid. Not every 7-year-old should be walking 2 streets to the bus stop.
Right.
But you get a feel for your kids and what they can handle, what they're responsible for.
Yeah.
My argument with Brandon Hyde is this guy just completely lacks feel for his players and the game situation.
I agree. I agree with
in
that.
life, you know how this works,
showed
Josh, with your kids. Every kid's different. You need to have feel of the context, the feel of your kid, and the feel of how that's going to work out. Brandon Hyde has no feel of his players and no feel of the in-game situations. We see this when he pulls starters too early, when he leaves relievers in there too long. This happens on a regular basis. We see him with his egregious pinch hitting at times. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
And that's because I feel that he lacks that kind of innate contextual feel when you leave a guy in just because he's rolling well. And I would say, Josh, he's relying too much on the analytics. But if you have argued, and I think correctly,
the analytics
don't really support what he's doing either. No. So I don't even think it's that. I just think so if it's not analytics and he also lacks the feel, it's a problem.
Yeah. And when we've heard, and here I'll add to that we've talked last week or the week before about when Austin Hayes left, and we heard about disgruntled people in the clubhouse. And really, I think a big part of the manager's role is keeping everyone in that clubhouse happy and keeping them all as a team and as a family.
Because the fact that we haven't heard about that, and you were disparaging those reports before, as I recall, as saying, well, where are they getting these reports from? I think they've done a pretty good job of keeping that stuff in-house.
They have, but the fact that it leaked out with the Hayes stuff, the fact that it shows that it's there, where we didn't know before that it was there.
Oh, of course it's there, but I think it would be there for any manager. I think Hyde's actually probably done a pretty good job with that, keeping that down. I think it'd be worse with someone else, potentially. Kjerstad's not attacking him in the dugout like Davis.
I don't know. What I don't get.
Isn't it weird to think that Davis and Hyde both played together? I feel like kind of 2 different eras of baseball.
It does. It
the
feels
Davis era, Chris Davis era of baseball and the Brandon Hyde era of baseball.
Because Brandon Hyde was not supposed to be part of this era.
Yeah. Well, and Davis wasn't supposed to be part of the new era either. He was the hangover that they couldn't get rid of yet.
Well, yeah, and exactly. It's I lost my train of thought, but it's
all right. We can move on from Brandon Hyde.
Well, yeah, we can. There's nothing else really to say. It's frustrating to watch.
Well, and there's nothing more to say, Josh. Because...
I know what I was going to talk about the analytics.
Okay,
if he was making these mistakes?
Yeah, okay.
About analytics, I can understand that. But here's the deal: we hear from people all the time. We just heard it with Trevor Rogers, how he came to the Orioles, and he saw more stats than he's ever seen in his career, and more analytics about his arm than he's ever seen in his career.
Isn't that wild? There's a minor leaguer, I forget who said the same exact thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yet the only analytics that Brandon Hyde has is, are you left-handed or are you right-handed? That's the only analytics he has in building his lineup.
That's not true, though.
But that's all he's using. It can't
be true.
It's all he's using.
That's what it looks like.
That's all he's using.
But he's got a whole team of data nerds.
I know
Michael Elias is feeding him. That's what I would love to sit down with Michael Elias and give him some truth serum and what do you actually think about these moves Hyde's making?
Here's the deal.
I love data support it.
I love when the camera catches Cowser looking at the 3x5 card in his back pocket for the batter that's up. I love that our outfielders have a little card in their pocket that says, Aaron Judge is up. Everyone shift to the right a little bit.
Okay. Everyone's got the
two steps back.
Yeah, okay.
What?
Every baseball player in the world has this card.
I know, but here's my point.
Do you coach my little leaguers? I give them cards for the opponent players.
Well, I cannot wait to talk Little League because I
got some travel ball updates too.
I moved up to 11U. Draft is this week, and I am hammering these kids. I'm no longer worried about, hey, let's have fun. I'm now we're going to win these games, and we're going to practice hard. So I cannot wait. But here's my point.
I'm just trying to have fun with my kids.
All these players have cards given to them by analytics. They have iPads in the dugout.
They got 10 iPads.
Yeah, to look at everything.
Yeah.
You're telling me that all Brandon Hyde has in his back pocket is a list of all the players with an L or an R next to it?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense these moves he makes.
And he doesn't have an L and R for the opponent's bench either because he'll bring in a lefty and then the other manager just brings in a right-hander. And Brandon Hyde's like, what?
Exactly.
You can't do that.
We have all these analytics and he is not using them is what it appears.
It looks like that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot more going into it, but that's the way it looks.
Has to be. Yeah. I mean, it's a tough job with the manager because I'm sure Mike Elias gives Brandon Hyde a ton of information and he has tailored information and combine it with kind of the feel.
Yes.
But it's hard to imagine that Brandon Hyde he's the best guy for the job at this point. It's hard to imagine. Maybe he is. It's
gut?
Hard to imagine.
Is it he leans on his gut too much?
Yeah. And yet, despite all that, Josh, we are the best team in baseball. We've overcome all these injuries, right?
Yes, I know. There's no need to hate on Brandon Hyde.
Yeah,
best record in baseball. Our full roster injured.
Yeah, and at some point, what are we talking about?
Right.
What would you rather have? A manager who made the perfect substitutions all year long, or a manager who made 75% correct substitutions, but also won a ton of baseball games? Give me the guy who wins a ton of baseball games over the guy who makes every right decision but loses more.
This team could be at 50 wins. And you and I would go on here and be like, hey, guys, we get it. Hopefully next year we don't have Batista. We don't have Bradish. We don't have Means. We don't have Wells. We planned this whole season around these guys, and they're now
our starting
gone.
Pitching was our weakness, and we just lost the whole rotation of them.
We lost our entire rotation.
Yeah.
We understand, but hey, let's just enjoy this game. Let's focus on Gunnar growing, Adley growing, Holiday growing, and we'll get him next year.
Yeah.
That's how this season should go with the number of injuries we've had.
Yeah. And ultimately, a manager should be judged by wins and losses, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you're right.
If he wins the World Series, Josh, but he makes some bonehead decisions, are we going to fire the man? Are we
no.
gonna do a Ravens Trent
Well,
Dilfer
maybe.
situation?
Maybe but you're right. Manager Hyde is probably in a good run-in for Manager of the Year again.
Oh, to have the best record and all these injuries.
All
yeah,
right, here's the
I
odds.
think he is.
The odds for Manager of the Year. When is this dated?
I
All
bet. I mean,
all right, I might go put some money on Brandon Hyde for Manager of the Year.
I bet the Guardians manager is there, right?
The Guardians is the favorite
Maybe the Royals.
at minus 180. The Red Sox and the Royals are tied at plus 360.
All right.
And number 4 is Brandon Hyde at plus 6,000.
Oh, plus 6,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I might go put some money on
If
Brandon
they win
Hyde.
the AL East and have the best record in baseball.
Yeah, with all those injuries, I can totally make the argument.
Yeah.
Now, the way the Red Sox are playing, if they can fight their way into the wild card and make an impact, then it's got to be Alex Cora.
With the low expectations, yeah.
Yeah, with the low expectations.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Hey, in some good news,
yes.
Enrique Bradfield Jr. was promoted from single A to double A.
Okay.
So
in a few more years, still a few years out.
He's on pace, Josh. He's on track, I think, for September call up 2025.
But what position is he play?
Center field.
Okay.
If you look at his numbers, Josh,
Yeah.
just his numbers right from single A, and he's 22 years old. So that's about the right age for high A. He batted 267, which isn't great, but on base at 345. The power's not there at all. He had 3 home runs, 3 triples, 14 doubles in 81 games. So you'd like to see those extra base hits and the power
I'd like
numbers
to see that go up a little.
But he's a speed guy. Josh, he's played, if you add last year and this year, he's played 106 minor league games. All right, so not quite a full season.
All right. How many stolen bases?
Stolen bases you think he has?
30.
In 109 games.
30.
Okay, Josh. The number is 84.
What? He's got 84.
He's got 59 this year in 81 games.
He's got. See, I was thinking like a third of those he'd get a stolen base. You're talking about more than half of the games he gets all stolen base.
Yeah. The man has 81 hits and 59 stolen bases this year. That's kind of wild.
Yeah. Can he just
Josh, listen
now?
to this. This is insane. Over his minor career in 2 years, he has 104 hits and 84 stolen bases. He's almost got as many hits as stolen bases.
Look, if Mateo isn't ready for the postseason, can Bradford just come up and be our runner?
Yeah.
Like don't even bring your glove, Bradfield. We just need those legs.
The stolen bases are pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, that sounds about a little bit.
Yeah. So, I mean, so the whole question with him is, can he develop his game? But good, because it's just good to see players who are high prospects get promoted, because you never know. You never know if they're going to struggle, if they're going to be able to hit. And so it's good to see that he's hitting enough to get the call up.
Right, and that means in order to get those, what did you say, 89 stolen bases?
84. Yeah.
And how many hits does he have? That means he's getting on base.
104 hits.
Yeah, that's great. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 35 walks this year. I mean, he's got some walks this year too.
I would expect that.
Yeah.
And probably some pinch runs.
Yeah. Yeah, so you want to see him still like get on base, not strike out, get walks. You hope he can just hit if he can hit, around 270, 280 on base at 350. I mean, that's going to be plenty enough to make a difference on a team. I think the question now is he good enough to be a starter, or is your platoon speedy defensive replacement pinch runner, or is he good enough to be an everyday player?
Right? Can he play every day, or is he our Mateo replacement down the road?
Yeah, but it's fun to see him get.
Get that's great news.
Yeah. The last thing I want to mention here. How are we doing on time?
We're fine.
Okay. Does the podcast run out of time? You want to play the whistle for a commercial break? Did we forget that? Shoot.
We did forget the commercial break. Do we stick it in here all the way at the end?
Yeah, I mean, you can find a time to stick it in I mean, Josh, you know how to stick it in. So you stick it in when you want to stick it in.
Yeah, I think I lost my button. I got this button. Does that work for our commercial break? We're back.
Sorry.
We're
All right.
back.
We're back. I just want to touch briefly here at the end of the show on the schedule. So we mentioned that the Nationals, and then it gets kind of into a little bit of a little gauntlet here, Josh.
Yeah, the Red Sox,
Mets are playing great ball.
Yep.
Astros, Dodgers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tough streak then the month of August.
Right.
Red Sox, Mets, Astros, Dodgers.
Yeah. Yeah. Without and we're off today. We're not off again until the 28th.
Yeah.
Washington, Boston, Mets, and Astros all with no break.
Yeah. And wasn't one of the game? What game was moved to Sunday night baseball? Is that the Astros?
That is the Astros, the 25th.
Yeah. Also, I just pulled up the Orioles schedule and they were talking about it. Are they getting a little carried away with all the giveaways? We got the rope cap on Wednesday.
Yeah.
On Friday, we got
I like the rope cap.
bobblehead.
I think the rope cap looks pretty good.
No, I agree. It's cool.
I do have my source sent me the Adley left and right bobbleheads, so I just got that in the mail. Look, if I take this down, see them up here, left and right.
Oh yeah,
Adleys.
yeah, cool. Yeah, with the orange and black jerseys. And so it's just kind of giveaway galore. Then you got the Friday, the Corbin Burns bobblehead, which I'm sure you'll get one of those.
Yeah.
Saturday, the next day is the Colton Cowser Muckman T-shirt.
Yeah, but don't complain because all these giveaways mean big crowds.
All right.
So we have.
How come I don't see Faith Night listed in here? Isn't Faith Night?
Yeah, I think Faith Night is Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it's when the Nats are in town. I don't know what Faith Night means because we got rid of Austin Hayes, who was probably going to speak at Faith Night.
Yeah, Austin Hayes. I bet he got Faith Night on the calendar.
But you do. I'll tell you, you do hear a lot of these young Orioles talk about Jesus and their faith. So I'm sure Faith Night will be pretty neat.
Yeah. I mean, as a guy who goes to a lot of minor league games, Faith Night's not a new idea. They got Faith Night all the time in minor league games. It's just it's not listed, Josh, as a promotion in the calendar.
It is Tuesday night.
Okay.
And Faith Night will be. Oh, I hate the Baltimore Sun.
You got to pay for it.
Yeah. And I had it up. I was about to read the names. It said Gunnar Henderson. It said Ryan O'Hearn. And then I was reading more. Henderson, O'Hearn, McCann, and Jordan Westberg are the players lined up to speak.
Wait, speak? They're speaking?
Yeah.
Were there people?
There's like a thing, like Faith Night is like something like, I think they talk after the game.
Okay.
Which I hope you win, because then you can like thank God for the win.
Yeah. I don't want to go here, Josh, but can I just, is Faith Night the opposite? Why do I feel like it's up against, and it shouldn't be like this, but I feel a little bit like it's up against LGBTQ plus night, maybe a bit of a competition, who can get the better crowd.
Well,
but there was a really cool giveaway with LGBTQ night.
You're right.
Plus
I want my Oriole cross. I want my Oriole bird on the cross giveaway.
Yeah. You think more people would come to the cross giveaway than to the Pride Night giveaway?
Yeah, my Oriole candle.
Yeah.
I will say the Orioles are marketing it as Faith Night is for all.
Right, not just Christian Faith Night, but all faith nights. Yeah.
I was looking to try to see exactly what it says the activity are. I believe these kids are sharing their testimony. I believe I saw that from somewhere.
But it's not even like listed on their calendars being a promotion. So I don't know.
He apparently Gunnar Henderson last year at Faith Night in Minnesota, he stayed after the game and participated in the Faith Night there. Okay. Which is pretty cool.
They said the Orioles invite all faiths and fellowship groups to join us on Faith Night. Stay post-game to enjoy faith-based music and hear Oriole players speak to fans.
Now, here's my problem. They say all faiths. And Gunnar Henderson said it's important for me to feel like a lot of guys in here to just express our love for God.
Right.
But it's not really all faiths, right? It's just all Christian faiths, and I know
I
the Christian
assume,
faith has
I don't
a
know.
billion segments of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know other religions that are represented in the
Now, okay.
clubhouse.
Here we go. The Orioles say faith means different things to different people, and that's what makes it so unique. That's what makes it worth having a conversation about. Everyone has a different reason for why. Faith Night at Oriole Park will allow the Oriole players and fans to share theirs. Westberg says, my faith means everything to me. It's who I am, who I identify as. I don't identify as a baseball player or a person just drifting through this world. I believe I'm held to a higher standard, and I'm called to be something more than just aimlessly wondering why I'm here or have an idea where I'm at. So my number one reason, everyone asks what your reason, that's mine. Now, they're not saying Jesus in these.
Right.
But they're not, it's not like Gunnar and Westberg over here are here because they have faith in Jesus. O'Hearn and McCann are over here because they have faith in Satan.
Yeah, or even some
Mountcastle's
Buddhists
coming up because he's an anarchist, and Adley over here is a Buddhist.
Yeah.
Like, they call it Faith Night.
Well,
and I...
Yeah. Well, and they do that because, Josh, if you call it Christian Night, there would be criticism.
Yes. But I think... I don't know how you do this. I don't know why you call it Faith Night and there's no criticism, because as you said, like, without getting into
maybe
politics
you add
stuff,
Christian plus, and so it's Christian plus other religions.
Christian plus.
we have to get out of here. We have to get out of here. We can't be having this conversation.
CBAS plus.
Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But it is obvious from these young players. They have been very outspoken about their faith, and it's cool to see a chance for them to do it in front of the fans. We've seen all these players from Henderson to Holiday. There's these Christian magazines that most people don't see that'll get sent our way once in a while. Like, I think one's called Spectrum.
Yeah.
And it's like Christian magazines for Christian young men. Yeah. And I've seen interviews with Holiday and Henderson and Westberg and stuff in there, and that's cool.
Yeah.
So to be able to do it at the stadium, I get it. It's cool. I actually probably would go to this if I was in town, because I think it's always cool to learn more about the players. Yeah. And whether you're a Christian or not, for me and you, we are Christians, so we can relate to their story and their testimony. But I think no matter what, whether you follow their faith or not, you always learn more about a player through their testimony. Did that do a good job bringing it back?
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. I would not see why having a game like this would offend anybody.
No,
and I would go to an LGBTQ plus game and not be offended.
Yeah. Now I would like to see testimonies at
events without offending people. Yeah.
I would like to see play. I think they are not doing enough on LGBTQ plus games. They need players out there sharing their testimonies on how how important LGBTQ is to them.
Well, no, that's because they don't feel comfortable sharing those testimonies, Josh. That's why we need to have more of those nights.
Exactly, and we need to be more open about it.
Comfortable about
Correct.
It, yeah.
But I do like I like this Faith Night. I actually would like to attend, and I hope there's plenty of video of it after the fact, as it is. It's August 13th, so it's tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Post-game music and players' testimonies, it says.
I'm just saying, I don't think they did a very good job of talking this up or advertising. It feels like they're almost sneaking it in. It's not on the calendar. You have to search to find something on it.
No, you are right. It sounds like an awesome night. They are not advertising it. I've seen still shots of, we got Faith Night in 2 weeks. Coming back from commercial real quick.
Yeah. They got giveaways every night, but apparently they don't have a giveaway.
This is so when they get the complaints about LGB and their pride jerseys, they can say, but we got this day in August for you. 100%.
Yeah, and I bet Pride Night gets a lot more fans than this night. What does that tell you?
Right. They gave away. Did the Orioles? Yeah, the Orioles did the jerseys, the rainbow jerseys.
Yeah, cool Pride jerseys.
Yeah. Why aren't we giving away Oriole priest robes?
Priest robes?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of something of faith.
It's got to be like a jersey.
That's what I'm saying. A jersey with. But how do you make it Christian?
Well, maybe the color of the rainbow for Noah's Ark.
Oh, that's a great idea. Reuse them.
Yeah.
Reuse them. We wear rainbow jerseys twice a year.
Yeah.
Reclaim the rainbow for the Christians. I don't think that would go well.
People would show up for the jersey still, though, Josh. Shoot, we should have cut this show at the commercial.
Yeah, we never delve into the politics.
Yeah, we, for obvious reasons, as your listeners can hear, we don't do politics on here. We do baseball.
No,
this is a
but I
baseball
love
show.
the idea of what would the giveaway be for Faith Night.
Yeah, we can brainstorm that for next year. When they bring
I
it
got
back.
it. The beads, like the Catholics have those prayer beads.
Yeah, again, you're going way. I guess are the majority of people Catholics in our locker rooms here? There might be some Catholics represented.
I don't think so, but I think Catholics have the most accoutrements. They have the most stuff. They've got the candles. They've got the beads.
Yeah, a lot of
the
symbolism. What do the Protestants have?
Well, they've got the music, which is why we have music after the show, after the game as well.
Yeah, but
Music
they can't
and
even agree
faith.
on the type of music. You know that, Josh.
That is true.
Too hard, too soft. You've had a lot of experience in that area.
Right. Do you think they start with traditional and an hour later they play more contemporary music
hymns?
like a church?
Well,
Bibles?
what
Kinda
translation?
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe the message, perhaps.
I was thinking the Donald Trump Bible.
Okay.
But similar to that, but it'd be the Oriole Bible.
Okay. Kind of the oral way.
Yeah.
That sounds like the opposite of Faith Night.
Any words of Jesus are printed in orange.
In orange?
Instead of red.
The same Bible is just the orange for the Jesus' words.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you add a couple of things in there, like he hates the Yankees.
Right.
You got to be careful to get that.
It's like the Bibles you get when you're like a middle school student that has little like devotionals and different like lessons learned, where it'll be like being bullied, and then it's Bible verses about bullies. So we'll have a Bible verses for this series against the Yankees.
How to talk to a Yankee fan.
I think we just came onto $1 billion idea.
Yeah.
Matt, let's write daily devotions for baseball fans. And we have to gear it towards the Oriole fans and then other teams. So you would buy your Oriole devotional, but it doesn't come out until like now that we have the schedule for next year. We make sure the schedule is built around the schedule of the team.
Daily devotional.
So today,
the season.
Right, like today I open up and do my devotions. The Orioles are off tonight, so I'm reading some scripture about rest and learning how rest is important. Tomorrow we go to we play the Nationals, and I don't have the correlation yet, but it'll be about something about playing your best out on the field. And we go on. You get the Yankees. It's when you get into all the war and battle stuff. When it's an AL East division team.
Oh yeah, you get to Boston. There's some wall metaphors to be made.
Exactly.
With the green monster right there.
I think. Yeah, we went long today and stumbled into $1 billion idea because it's not just for Oriole fans.
$1 billion with a B,
billion,
Josh.
$1 billion with a B, for Bibles.
Yeah.
Bibles have, yes, because I don't think you have to pay copyrights for Bibles because there's so many. They're so old, so you can reuse Bible verses.
Oh yeah. No, they're beyond the copyright laws.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can build your devotions, and the devotion we have for when we face the Yankees, you can put that same one in the Yankee one when they face the Red Sox, and just do a little find and replace.
Oh, so you're making it for all teams?
Yeah. You have to buy your team. So we'd buy the Oriole one. Yankee fans buy the Yankee ones, but it's the same one, just all rearranged.
Yeah.
And guess what happens?
And more important than the $1 billion, we'll be offering people, spiritual and moral support through these tough times of going through a whole rigorous 162-game season.
And we line it up. So, hey, we know what next year's schedule looks like.
Yeah.
So we could be the giveaway at Faith Night tomorrow. The Orioles just have to buy 10,000 copies from us.
Yeah.
And we do that with every team. And we're a bestseller.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, Josh.
This is way better than the kids' coloring book or whatever we talked about before.
Yeah.
Forget keep teaching kids baseball. Let's go with the Bible.
Yeah. Let's go deeper. Let's go for the soul.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
And make a little money.
Yeah. On the side.
Right.
All right. We went long.
Yeah.
I didn't even get a travel ball update. We'll do travel ball later.
Yeah. And I mentioned I've got my Little League draft on Friday night. So I'll have some updates for that next week.
Yeah. And we might have some more Orioles baseball to talk about. Hopefully more injury talk.
And hopefully we don't need to tear down manager Hyde anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. He's our manager. I mean, all of it, right? I said before that Kimbrel's my guy, Hyde's my guy, because this is it. Like, this is who we're rolling with. There's no one's getting fired. I mean, you can complain, I guess, if it makes you feel better. But at the end of the day, he's our guy this year. So save the firing talk for next year and all that.
Agreed.
For now, he's our guy. So let's roll with him.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, let's get out of here. You can follow us on X and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and anywhere else.
Yep.
We're everywhere. You can follow me on X at Section 336. You can follow Josh on X
At Josh Soroka.
Thanks for listening, boys and
At
girls.
Birdland Sports.
Okay. Thanks for listening, boys and girls.
Did I screw up your closing?
Yeah, twice now. Thanks for listening, boys and girls.
I was just looking for some iTunes reviews just to check in.
And as always,
I didn't want to miss out if we had any in there.
Go O's.
I think you need to redo your whole closing.
Really?
No.